from New York. It's Sunday night.
It is Sunday night. Welcome to the Hungover podcast live on twitch.tv/jujubesgood. You can also catch this podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and in video form in YouTube. But also don't forget Google Play, because I almost forgot it. It's often forgotten, but it's still useful. Look, this is a topical podcast that you can get every single Monday, or streamed live on Sundays usually, that covers everything from politics to video games. Today we're going to be talking about Facebook and its recent controversies with the Cambridge Analytica nonsense debacle that what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg? Is that... Don't I always screw up his name? Mark Zuckerberg has really been figured out, and he is in deep shit now. But so is everyone and all their information, because Facebook has been mining all of that shit and sending it off to many different sources. But Yvonne, you know, I am really excited to use Facebook every day now. But before we get to that, we always ask each other, what sort of media have you been consuming, and what'd you drink last night?
Excellent questions.
I gotta ask them. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's pro forma, really. I don't listen to you when you talk.
I know. I know.
You start on some weird indie video games that are actually like Japanese AAAs that I'll never ever play in my life. And everybody actually wants to listen to you talk about those video games, but I blabber on about movies regardless. And in that style, let's talk about what I saw this past week, which was Flower.
Wow. What is this movie? I've never
Flower
heard of it.
Is a movie that you would love, Julien.
Really?
And I tell you why. It's the main characters are based in high school.
Yes, I love high school movies. Oh my god. Tell me more.
It's another coming-of-age tale telling the story of a mother and daughter who
like
are
Stand
moving,
By Me? Oh no.
Moving in with their the daughter's moving in with her stepfather, and her stepbrother's coming from rehab.
Oh, that I mean, aside from that, that's always got to be an awkward situation, moving in with the stepdad. Boy.
Exactly.
I've seen too many porns about that.
An awkward situation, which, funnily enough, it has some of those overtones to it.
Oh.
So this is a movie that is about a young girl who is in high school and extorts money from adult men.
For porn.
Because she performs sexual acts on them, and then her friends
She's a prostitute.
and extort money from them. She's not technically a prostitute because she gets money from the men for not... She's more like a blackmailer, or I think racketeering.
I gotcha.
Nobody knows really what racketeering is.
Gotcha.
So it's something like that. But she's played by Zoe Deutsch, who is... you can understand why she took this role, because it's like... She gets every line, basically. Mm-hmm. And she plays this character pretty well. So it's a character who's kind of probably more despicable than you would imagine a main character to be. But she plays her so charismatically that for a lot of the movie, you're actually like acceding to or like agreeing with what she's talking about. Or at least, even if you're not agreeing with it, you're not like outwardly disgusted by it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Meanwhile, her stepbrother is played by an actor who hasn't been in too much, but who is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I was really happy with his performance.
Is this in theaters now?
It is in theaters. That's where I saw it.
Okay, cool.
The stepbrother is Joey Morgan. He has a very active and like engaging performance. I think overall this movie it's just a really enjoyable movie. Like, you don't feel like it's being over-directed. You don't feel like the dialogue is weird for the most part. It just feels natural and like a good time at a movie. And you don't have the stress of having to analyze it for like the Oscar, because it was kind of critically panned.
Even though it's about... You're saying it's like a fun movie to watch, even though it's about weird sexual acts and blackmailing. That's
Yes.
cool. Okay.
I highly recommend going to see this movie. I
Okay.
really do. I say go see it. Go see it in theaters. Go see it when it comes to the home for
DVD.
streaming. I like this is it's a good time even in the movie theater. It's not a movie that you necessarily need to watch in a theater in terms
Yeah.
of the shots and
Visuals.
the action, but it's really fantastic.
Cool. Man, that's exciting.
Yeah.
A movie that isn't a Marvel superhero movie is worth going to see. That is really surprising to me, Yvonne.
Yeah, it's really original, I think. It's really
An
well
original
written.
is it an original screenplay?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's directed by the son of the Fonz.
Wow. Okay. That is actually really cool. I'm always happy when wait, is it an indie film? Or is
Yeah,
it?
and so
Okay.
it's produced by The Orchard,
Okay.
which is it's a production company that focused mostly on music, but has kind of now shifted a lot towards multimedia production. So they
I
do
see.
music, and they started doing film recently. And actually, a lot of the Orchard productions that I've seen the trailers for recently, I've been pretty intrigued by. So starting with Flower, and then some other ones too. I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah, I'm always excited when an indie film comes out to theaters. I mean, I know in New York City, I can see these movies all the time. Of course, I don't. But I don't take advantage of the city I live in. But I mean, I know there are a bunch of indie movie theaters out in New York City, but a lot of movie theaters in America might not play a movie like this. But it seems like at least in Syracuse, they're playing movies that's of this caliber. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like one of two showings, I think, that day. I think it's even gone now. It's not being shown anymore.
When did it come out?
That is an interesting question because it looks like it originally came out in 2017.
Oh, so
But-
it's been
But
really
it says it's March 16th, 2018 is its official wide release date.
okay, and
So
it must
it was
have been
shown in Tribeca in
Tribeca
2017,
film.
and a year
Yeah,
later
Robert
it's
De
got
Niro.
its release
he
date.
handpicks the movies. He looks through the goddamn film, the roll of film because
They
there's
bring him
still-
a bucket of just DVDs, and he rifles through them individually, really smelling all of them. He does. They don't even have labels.
guess
It's
I'll
just
watch
a
this.
bucket of DVDs.
hey, you got Raging
Hey.
Bull in here. This is a good movie. This is a
Hey.
good movie here.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
You,
There's no one else here, so you must be talking to me.
you mu- We're not the kings of impressions, especially not Robert De Niro. It's a pretty hard one to do, but that one was good, Yvonne.
It's
I'm
mostly a facial thing. So
I know.
if you're watching the video, you enjoyed that. If you're listening to the audio, you said, was he doing an impression of Christopher Walken?
The only way to impersonate Robert De Niro is with his facial expressions. It's really
It's
It's
a little
the only
lemony. It's a little lemony.
it's like he just bit a lemon all the time, especially in that movie.
I talk about casinos.
Did you, did you see that movie where he's with Zac Efron? Did you see this movie he was
Oh,
in?
Dirty Grandpa?
Yeah,
No, but it's on Netflix or something right now?
I think so. Or else it's on Amazon movies.
Yeah, it's definitely on Amazon.
It's not bad. It's pretty funny.
I haven't seen it. I
I
should
saw
check
it.
it out. The movie that I want us to check out and do a review for is the new John Krasinski, Emily Blunt movie. So they're
Oh, yeah.
husband
They're
and
married.
wife team.
Yeah.
You know John Krasinski from The Office, the Benghazi movie,
And something
13
else.
Hours, and some other things. You know
Mostly
Emily
The
Blunt
Office.
from...
She's very famous.
I think she's the new Mary Poppins.
Yeah,
she was in
she was in-
Sicario. She was also in Live, Die, Repeat.
Mm-hmm.
She's super hot in that movie.
Oh yeah.
But that's a movie that I think we should check out. It's
Okay.
gotten really good reviews. It's doing really well in the box office. I think it's pretty popular.
What's
I think
it?
it's well worth it.
Called again?
A Quiet Place.
A
And
Quiet
you know where
Place.
else was A Quiet Place until we showed up? Was this Meyer Farm Gin Distillery.
Nice. Where?
So you asked me what I drank. You can check out the proof. To see the proof of an alcohol, you shake it up, and the faster the bubbles go away, the higher the proof.
Okay.
Just
Cool.
so you know. Anyway,
Why don't you just read the label?
It's I mean, I know it's a 42.7.
There you go.
ABV. Meyer Farm is it's a local upstate distillery in the Finger Lakes region. That's where we went yesterday for a few hours. We did
And they make gin.
Ravines and Herman Weimer, and then this distillery.
Oh, Herman Weimer. I like them.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I bought another Magdalena Riesling from them.
That's a good wine.
Yeah, if you buy this wine from the date you purchase it, hold it for a year.
A Riesling?
At least. Yes, the Riesling.
Okay. Usually you don't want to age white wines, but I'll take
this
your word
one you
on
do. It's not as complex. It's not finished until a year after.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
But really good wines all day long.
We should do a wine review podcast. I feel like that's the next one. We'll just get drunk
this summer.
Podcast. In the summer,
you're gonna come up here, and we're gonna do a car pod.
Carpod.
Where
Getting drunk.
We'll
Me specifically only.
Yes, we'll do a winery tour. We'll have Laura Didi.
Okay, nice. Yes.
And we'll do a car pod where we review the wineries in between the takes or whatever.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah, I like that idea. I'm into that.
Okay, hey, that's one podcast in the future settled.
Hey.
Now we don't have to come up with the topic 15 minutes before.
That's why we're talking about Facebook.
Yes, so those are the things that I consumed a lot of this week. Flower, I've been going back to Psych. I've been playing a ton amount of Far Cry 4.
Nice.
When I'm, cogent enough to actually, stay awake. I can't concentrate on editing. But Far Cry is just you move a little places, and then if it starts getting too hazy, then you go nap for a while. That's been my week. Actually,
just
I've been super sick.
Sync up the audios and just upload the video. Plenty of people have done that. Just do it, man. Whatever.
That's not the hungover approved way of uploading.
It's true. That wouldn't get a seal of approval, but at least, maybe that's what the people want. Maybe they want the longer form videos, uncut. Raw hungover gaming. That's what you can get live on Twitch. Just
anyway,
in.
Juju, over there to you.
Anyways, for me, I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Super lately. Now for the time when Yvonne just leaves and I ramble on. No, but
I just had to blow my nose.
No,
bro.
I know.
Nobody wanted to see that.
That would
live on the air.
Yeah, so I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Super. They just got to this really cool tournament. So basically, we've gone into full spoiler mode. But honestly, the story is so ridiculous at this point. You might as well not. You don't even want to watch the first couple episodes at this point because there are 12 universes. All right, Yvonne? And you're like, what the fuck is this shit? And there are gods.
Come on, kids. Let's get
there's
this
a god of destruction in each universe, like Beerus, and there's basically different versions of Supreme Kai and alternate reality. The universe 6 is basically if the numbers are next to each other, or if the numbers add up to 13. Then the universes are intrinsically tied together, so they're basically parallel universes, almost, in some way. And so, basically, what I'm trying to tell you is there are Saiyans in a different universe. Isn't that cool? In a parallel universe. You're like, what?
Why is that cool?
My point, it's pretty cool because there are girl Saiyans in that universe. That's all I'm saying.
Girl Saiyans?
That's pretty cool. I think, and their name, one of their names is Kale, and the other one is Caulifla. She's cauliflower, but in Saiyan speak.
God.
And then the other one is Kaba. He's a guy. But basically, my point is there's also this incredibly cute character called Zeno, but referred to as Zeno-sama because he's a god. He's the god of everything. He can destroy anyone. If he's pissed off at you, he'll just erase you from everything. And he's organized. There's also alternate reality Zeno-sama, and Goku's become very good friends with him. So he's basically organized a tournament that's a battle royale between all of the universes. It's a 10 v10 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 13 times or whatever, 12 times, and everyone's in the ring at once. And so there's like 100 people, 120 different people to fight for Goku and the gang. And they got Master Roshi in there. They got Gohan trained for once. They actually got Gohan to be strong again. They brought back Tien.
Remember when he had his ultimate potential unleashed?
Yeah, pretty much. He had his ultimate potential, but now he's rise beyond. Basically, they brought everyone's energy level up for some reason, artificially, and without any training montages, which I'm happy about. And the
Why
point
did they
is,
create this character?
Huh?
I'm just looking at what Zeno looks like right now.
He's so cute.
He's so stupid looking.
He's so dumb, but his voice is so in the Japanese voice actor it's so high pitched. It's so cute. Oh my god, he's the cutest character, Ivan. I'm just saying. But the point is, Ivan, I just wanted to bring this up because Gohan was trying to be a tactician and have everyone fight together on a team, and then as soon as they start the battle, Goku runs off in one direction, Vegeta runs on in another direction. They brought back Frieza because Boo fell asleep, so they had to have Frieza fight on their team. Frieza goes off. That's just something you gotta. It's a whole drawn out long thing.
Is
Frieza's
it a
trying to
funny
kill everyone.
moment?
But he's been dead. But they all run off in different directions, and I feel like Gohan every single time I play Overwatch. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, so I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Super. It's actually really, it's entertaining. It's a good show. I think you should watch it. If you need to watch another show. It's on Crunchyroll. I have also been playing a lot of Ni no Kuni 2. I've logged in about 50 hours now. I beat the game on stream last night. You can follow me on twitch.tv/JujuBeesGood, where I beat various games like that and also play Overwatch begrudgingly. Yeah, so that game was absolutely spectacular. If you need to play, it's on Steam and PS4. If you need an incredibly endearing and wonderfully fun JRPG to play, I suggest you pick it up. It's got great. We've already talked about it on the podcast, but the story actually ended up being really little touching at the end. I was not expecting it to go in that way, but I also was at the same time. It was pretty good. I like the first Ni no Kuni had a very melancholy and somber tone to the story. It was just a really sad game. But this game sort of took a different route and was more regular JRPG situations and things like that. So I wasn't too happy about that at the beginning, but the characters were interesting enough for me to keep playing. And there's this really, really fun, sorry, I just got an email and that's annoying. This really, really fun kingdom builders mode that you go into that you're basically doing. There's a bunch of different side quests like every other JRPG, but the side quests actually net you citizens for your kingdom, which is a very good reward for you to do the side quests, which makes it interesting. And they all have their backstory, which is pretty cool. But when you get citizens into your kingdom, they can do research for you and start gathering resources for you, and also make other things a little easier in the game, so you don't have to grind out as much. And you basically gather up a bunch of money that you spend, and you upgrade everything, and you make your kingdom really powerful. And that's a really fun sort of side thing that you can do in the game. It's also part of it is tied to the story, so you are forced to do some of it, but it's a really fun game. There's a lot of different systems going on in the game. It's not just the combat that you see in trailers or things like that. So I think that game is worth picking up if you get the chance.
It looks really nice.
Yeah, I think
I really like like we've talked about the art style and stuff as so in a universe that's really nice to look at. It seems like there's a lot of fun stuff that you're talking about to back up.
It's a really deep game, and you can spend hours. I mean, I've already played it for 50 hours, and I'm actively trying to get the platinum trophy, but we'll see. It seems kind of grindy. There's one trophy that's really difficult, that's just gonna require me to grind to an incredibly high level that I don't want to do. So I might not do it, but we'll see. I also played some Bayonetta 2. I think it's just a superior version of Bayonetta 1. It's the sequel. They made the game a lot better. I ended up playing Bayonetta 2 for Wii U before I ever played Bayonetta 1. And I went back to Bayonetta 1 on the Switch when it came out. And I then went on to Bayonetta 2 again. And I now remember why I like Bayonetta 2 a lot more. The combat is so much better in that game. And it's also a lot easier. The graphics must be better, or they're using brighter colors. So it's a lot easier to discern what's going on in the combat, which can get very hectic very quickly if you're not prepared. But yeah,
Bayonetta was only released in 2009?
Yeah, it was on 360 and PS3 originally. And then Bayonetta 2 came out for the Nintendo Wii U in 2014 or 2015, something like that. And it was exclusive to Nintendo Wii U, and they brought Bayonetta 1 to the Wii U as well as a package. But Bayonetta 2 would not have been made if not for Nintendo. So a lot of people who never got a Wii U got really pissed off, that were also fans of Bayonetta. So it's like a very small niche of people, just like diehard fans of Bayonetta that didn't get a Wii U. So they got pissed off, and it's like, well, suck it, dude. It's Bayonetta. It's now a Nintendo franchise because Nintendo bought it pretty much, or funds it anyways. They published a game. But yeah, that's about it for me. I've had a pretty tame weekend. Didn't really do anything too exciting. I just relaxed, and I fixed up one of my fight sticks. I replaced some of the buttons, so that's what I did. I don't know. I didn't really do much, but it's nice to have a relaxing weekend every now and then.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. But, Yvonne, you know what's not so relaxing?
The anxiety that I feel that all of my data has been breached.
Yes, absolutely. We're moving over to the topic of the show.
20 minutes in.
20 minutes in. It's surprising for us. I think we usually hit topic of the show around 50 minutes in. No, I'm kidding.
That's a good point.
Sometimes.
Can I tell you one brief story that was shocking from this weekend? And I'll relate it back in. So on Friday, my girlfriend's friends came because they came to visit us, so that's why we went to the wineries and such. On Friday they came. I was working, so I was away when they were doing stuff. Mm-hmm. And they were walking around downtown. They saw a body art shop, so they went inside, checked out the artist work and stuff. And so they made a plan to come back today to check out physical art.
Yeah.
Not like just tattoos, but to buy a piece of like a painting or something. So we went in. We were waiting up there a little bit for them to get started, and then they went into a different room, and we were just sitting there. So there's a bunch of binders on the waiting table, right? So this is generally where the body artists will put their work.
Yeah.
So there's a binder that's about this big. It's got a wood cover. So I'm like, cool, this looks pretty cool. Let me flip into it.
Okay.
Apparently, I flipped into the very back, and I opened it.
It's a Japanese book?
No, it was it's like a binder filled with the photos.
Yeah.
It wasn't Japanese, but it was very shocking in what I saw. I looked at it, and I kind of didn't recognize it until I really thought it through. And then I realized I was just staring at cock rings.
Cock rings?
Attached to cocks. Just several pages of examples of body piercings which were just all cock rings, and then eventually they got into other places, but that was super shocking, and it's just as shocking to hear that Facebook just gave away data to companies purporting to be part of some sort of academic study, and then the people who are academics using that data that they gathered from there to sell to other companies, and or the friends of friends data as part of this bundle of information, which could be anywhere.
Right. So
just as shocking to see.
Which is very shocking. The main company that that's sort of in the news right now is Cambridge Analytica. What exactly is this company?
So Cambridge Analytica is a company that is they're associated with the Koch brothers, I think. And cool. They're actually the son of somebody.
That's not actually cool, but okay.
Some like Republican person or something.
Okay.
So like Steve Bannon is the former vice president of this company. And essentially Robert Mercer, I think, is one of the key people. So Robert Mercer is a key person who is part of like Breitbart and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's very closely tied to the Koch brothers and different things. Essentially, this is a super Republican conservative group that founded or funded this data mining, data analysis thing. And they forced basically a lot of Republicans, like the Trump campaign, a lot of backers forced them to use Cambridge Analytica, because Cambridge Analytica is a company that mines social media platforms or other platforms for research, and then packages it to say that we can tell you how to influence people based on these trends that we've seen, or based on this data which was gathered through whatever.
Okay. And Facebook, did Facebook directly give them information, or was it handed off to a different company first?
So the thing about Cambridge Analytica is that it's the main thing is that the data that was coming in was supposed to be from... Okay, so what happened was there was supposed to be some sort of academic purpose for this marketing, for this data mining material, right? So they were supposed to running surveys that you could accede to, and you're like, okay, you participate in this survey, we get some information from you, etc. And so then that information generally you shouldn't be able to like parse through it and identify individuals. You shouldn't be able to use that. And part of the thing is that if it's for an academic study, it really shouldn't be done for profit kind of thing.
Right.
But there was a breach of that. And more importantly over that is that it wasn't just the people who agreed to do the survey. It was a much wider net. So everybody who agreed to do the survey had their data mined for sure. Mm-hmm. But people who didn't agree to do the survey, who were just friends of those people, also had information pulled from their Facebook pages and included in this data mining survey. So it was a way overreach of what the agreed upon terms were. And the real thing of looking through this stuff is like, okay, if you are using Facebook and a friend of yours agrees to do something, is it okay for that company then to use information that it gathers from friends of that person who agreed to do the survey in their data mining practices? Not only that, but there's also just like a ton of data that can be mined from public profiles and things like that. And Facebook changes its policies often, and they're done in ways that are either confusing or don't fully work in terms of hiding and shielding your data from different people clearly.
Right.
And there's also ways of that, just what the data is that Facebook keeps and stores that is really concerning to a lot of people as part of this discussion that got brought up from the Cambridge Analytica thing. And Facebook just suspended CubeU, which is a Canadian-based analytics thing that was also it's labeled its quizzes for nonprofit academic research, then shared user information with marketers. So a very similar scenario scenario to how Cambridge Analytica used their data.
Okay, so it's and this was prior to Trump being elected. It was leading up to the 2016 election, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at Cambridge Analytica and a lot of similar data mining practices that have been happening for much longer than that. But Cambridge Analytica especially came into like the vogue of news stories because it's so strongly linked to both Brexit and the Trump campaign.
And this becomes really pertinent because a lot of people get their news from Facebook nowadays, I guess, whether it be from their friends posting different articles or obviously Cambridge Analytica posting ads that can skew a certain way to get you clicking on it, and because it has a catchy headline, right? So that is, and this is why the term fake news has come up in the news as well. Literally, these people, they're mining our information to see who we are and generally how we tend to skew politically, which Facebook has a good representation of. If you use Facebook often and you post things based on your political views, Facebook has a very good representation of who you are politically. So that's why Cambridge Analytica would go to Facebook in order to mine data, in order to skew an election, for instance, which is what they're being accused of doing, I guess.
Right. So the exact thing. So a company like Cambridge Analytica, or whoever is doing data mining. So a company like Cambridge Analytica gathers information from a survey that they would purport to be for non-profit academic use or for academic use only. What that means is that your data should be anonymized. It should be very difficult to identify information to a person's name and things like that. So that's part of like the code of ethics when you do when you conduct research at an academic level, is you have to notify if information won't be anonymized and or like secretized in other ways, and you have to basically anonymize as much information as possible. Especially with internet information, it's impossible to guarantee anonymization, but it should be a strong effort done.
Yeah.
Now the other thing is that you take this information, you package it, and you send it out to whoever. So you could be a Russian hacking group or a Russian intelligence organization, supposedly, who calls up and says, you're Harry Morgan from Tallahassee, Florida, and you're looking for information about local politics. So you call up, you find out information about local people thanks to this data mining processes, and you can create fake accounts that post information that further influence those people who are already trending in X direction to not vote for Y person, or to not vote at all, or to sway them in a direction that is completely, like you said, garbage fake news. So this is what a lot of the main things that there are big complaints about from the 2016 Trump election is that, like, there are all these fake news things that are designed to create larger divides and they were sending people, like, the report is that Russians were sending people to Bernie or Trump and not to Hillary. And so it's just it's an interesting thing as to how much of ourselves are we willing to give up to have a tool like Facebook. So, for instance, we don't pay anything to use Facebook.
No.
The the saying goes, when you don't pay anything for a product, that product is you. So it's not that Facebook is the product that we're using. It's that Facebook is using us as a product.
Right. And obviously, that's what happened. I mean, I think I read that Mark Zuckerberg stepped down as the CEO of Facebook, or whatever his position is at Facebook now. I think I read that, but I mean, I don't really know. So I think he's in deep shit right now because of all this information that popped up. Do you know exactly um, how this was leaked, that this was going on?
So there was a whistleblower who worked for Cambridge Analytica
Oh, okay.
who came out and talked
And he
about.
he filmed them talking, right? I think I saw a video. There's a video going around that a lot of people that on local news and national news, where they have the I guess some guy at Cambridge Analytica talking to someone, but he's sort of secretly being filmed, I think, and he's talking about the process of selling the data to people, like, I guess, a Russian hacker, for instance, in that sort of situation. But I mean, I didn't really pay too much attention because
I haven't seen this video, so
I don't really. Okay, so then we won't talk about it. I mean, I don't really use Facebook that much, and they probably get a. So I'm not the primary target for this situation because I definitely don't get my news from Facebook. If I get any news at all, I barely pay attention to the news that much. I'm kind of ashamed of that, but it's just who I am. I don't spend much of my time looking up the news, and I certainly would not go to Facebook to get it. I'm not saying that. I guess, I am saying, I guess in this situation it is very wrong to get your news from Facebook now. So I would be wary of that. And I think what we have to worry about now is this an illegal practice? Is Facebook gonna cease to be a company? Are they gonna get class action lawsuits sent at them, or are they just under investigation right now?
So this has been a thing. So I think it was in 2012, there were some rules that were set forth for Facebook that they were supposed to adhere to in terms of people's data, because it hasn't been the first time that this issue has come up. And rather than going down the path where they were solving that problem and really trying to investigate how that would work, they have done little to nothing, and because their priority is to be a profitable company.
Yeah.
So the goal of Facebook is to profit as much as possible with as little overhead as possible. So the attempts to see, like, okay, is this within the bounds of what we should be doing? Is this okay to our users, and are we keeping people's data safe? Do we actually care about that? All of that is basically nonsense for the majority of people who work at Facebook. Their main goal is, how do we turn this product that we have into money? And the product being the person who's sitting in front of their phone,
right?
The person who's sitting in front of the computer, and giving as much eye time as possible to this website and click-throughs and all that stuff. So they don't care. Facebook is an amoral capitalist venture. They don't care what the information is that's on their website, as long as you're getting as much click-through.
Right.
Now, there are times when they're like, okay, we can't have people murdering other people on Facebook Live, but it's done mostly from, like, backlash and different thing, as opposed to being proactive in that regards. And especially with the data on the back end, that is the most important and preciously guarded secret that Facebook has in terms of how it's used and how they make profit off of that. And that's going to continue to be a very murky topic, because it's almost impossible to adhere to standards of privacy generated by, like, any kind of government entity and still maintain Facebook the way it is, or the profit levels and margins that they're wanting to maintain.
I see. So they're essentially protected by their private policy, or whatever the thing that we always
fully
agree to, without reading. Right, on the internet, these are things that we do. just scroll to the bottom. I hate when they make you scroll to the bottom. That's the worst.
Yeah.
As if you read any of it still. As if that makes you read any of it more. You're still only going to read maybe the first couple words.
And it wouldn't really matter in general. So like, we've lost, for instance, in that fine print of the user agreement, we've lost collectively a right.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have, as a people, a right to do class action lawsuits for the majority of us. So why did we lose that right? Well, every single person who agrees to these user agreements is basically agreeing to one-on-one arbitration, not bringing class action lawsuits. You're saying that you give up the right to have a class action lawsuit and that you will seek individual arbitration. What does that mean? It means that it's not a court case per se. An independent arbiter is hired by the company that you're bringing the lawsuit against, the arbitration against, and then they will decide what is a fair punishment or fair consequence of whatever happens.
I see.
And now, technically, it's an independent arbiter. But who keeps hiring that independent arbiter? Oh, this major company. So, in the vast majority of arbitration cases, the major company who hires the arbiters are the beneficiaries, as opposed to class action lawsuits, which have been a tremendous success in terms of maintaining the power of the people to work against large corporations. So class actions lawsuits have ranged from things about water to healthcare to lead piping and things like that. Class action lawsuit is essentially like you bound together a whole bunch of citizens who have all been wronged by X company or X person, and together they have enough money and power to pay the attorney fees and different things, and as a collective they can fight against mega corporation X.
I see.
And we've lost that right in arbitration. And that's the same kind of thing that we lose all the time in user agreements, and the same thing that we see to all the time in user agreements, because it's specifically designed to
protect the company.
Not to protect the company, but also the user agreements are specifically designed to make your eyes glaze over and to not be able to understand them. You have to have like 2 law degrees in order to understand a user agreement.
Yeah, I think I read the first paragraph of one once, and I mean, I certainly glazed over and not saying I understood most of it, but I definitely remember reading that the company, I forget what the user agreement was for and which company it was and whatever, but I definitely remember reading a line that said the company reserves the right to change this user agreement at any time under any condition, pretty much. And that is, I'm not saying that's in Facebook's user agreement or whatever, but that's just an example of the type of stuff that they could possibly put in there. And it's really kind of scary if you think about it. Yvonne, do you think that you're going to delete your Facebook account at this point? Is it really important to do that or at all? I don't think, or I mean, they already have the information about you anyways, I'm guessing. So are you going to continue to use Facebook at this point?
Yeah, most likely. I have a lot of international friends or people that I'm connected to only through
and you
Facebook.
have some photos up there.
Yeah, I have photos and other things that I don't want to lose. I think for the majority, I haven't posted really. I mean, I barely post anything that even has to do with this channel, which is a consistent frustration for you. But part of the reason is just I really hate social media because I hate the fact that we are the products that are being sold.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate all of the metadata that is collected by every little piece of information of where I am, my IP, my MAC, my location data, how old I am, what I'm doing, what I'm watching, what I'm seeing, what I want to buy, all my cookies that show me like I want to buy a bed frame I was looking for recently, and every single ad then for like a week was a bed frame. I already bought my bed frame. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
I really hate all of that. It disgusts me to no end. I also hate the algorithm of Facebook. I hate what it is. It used to be a platform based on connecting and different things. It was a lot more, I don't know, I think it was a lot more
intimate.
congenial to like human interaction, And now it's just like a manufacturer of looking at the title or the headline of some article that's going to piss me off. Like, for instance, I was scrolling through my feed trying to find fake news that other people have posted. For instance, somebody posted "really" in with a question mark and exclamation point to a piece by the Babylon Bee saying that Trump lawyer now claims that he was only trying to show the gospel to porn star.
Mm-hmm.
And the Babylon Bee, if you click through and look at the link and different things, the Babylon Bee is a Christian satire newspaper, like the Onion for Christian news. So, like, this person just clearly just read either the article, hopefully at least the article, or just the headline, and then reposted it. And it's super clever, right? How can I'm the outrage machine. But again, Facebook doesn't care what's being posted as long as it's being posted.
Yeah.
I enjoy like the interaction of seeing what people are doing, but I hate being a product, and it really annoys me. I'm going to keep Facebook. I barely use it. I don't post. I look through and see what other people are up to. I'm going to keep my Twitter because I like my handle, @Bach in the USSR. Because I think it's funny.
The only thing I like, I have one friend on Facebook that posts really funny memes. So I like Facebook for that one person.
I hate memes. Our entire society is one goddamn meme.
I know,
it really
man.
pisses me off.
But yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't use Facebook. The last time I actively posted something on Facebook, besides on the Hungover Gaming Podcast Facebook page, which you can follow or like, it's where we try to, it's just another place that we post our stuff. So if you like to use Facebook, we have nothing against you personally. Go ahead and like the Hungover Gaming Facebook page. That would help us out. But yeah, so I don't post anything anymore on Facebook. I did really like to use it in college. I remember using it a lot in college, or at least in my freshman year. It seemed like like people were actually paying attention and they actually cared about their profile and things like that. And so it seemed like a more intimate thing. But now it's just who gives a fuck, which just posts. It's just an endless void, an echo chamber where you're just talking to your friends, posting fake news, like you said, and you might not have even read the actual fake news. I don't know. Who knows what's going on Facebook? But actually, what I've noticed as of late is that the majority of what I'm scrolling through on the feed is not actually anything related to what my friends are doing or what they're saying, or like if they're showing a picture, post a picture on Facebook. That's really cool to do. You're updating me about your life. Thank you for doing that. But I actually get a bunch of just like different websites posting things, I guess. I like IGN, so I guess I've liked IGN on Facebook, so they know that, or they know I go to IGN a lot for my video gaming news, and so IGN now pops up on my feed like 5 or 6 in a row. And then there's another website that I actually like called SureYouCan.com, which is a fighting game website blog. And they post a bunch of fighting game news, so that shows up. And then there's a bunch of other things that aren't even my friends, so I don't even know what Facebook is anymore. It's just I try to stay off of it. I generally don't really go on it every day anymore, but it is an interesting thing what's happened. I don't really know what to think of it. I had
a really good streak where it was like a month that I didn't ever click on the Facebook app on my phone, and I never go on Facebook.
I don't have the Facebook
computer.
app on my phone.
But that's probably the smart thing to do. But I was strong for a long time. I never went on Facebook, and then it's fucking stupid because I hate it, and
then people try to
super annoying.
But I sent it to you on Facebook, like me.
Like Facebook Messenger is a different thing. Do you know that like Facebook tracks all of your calls and messages and things like that? It's just like ridiculous. I think the Facebook app is something that should be deleted off all phones. Probably Facebook Messenger too, unless you need it to talk to people. But just get something like WhatsApp, which is also Facebook.
Yeah, They're a large company. Do you think that, I mean, it's not like Apple isn't, and whoever your internet provider or service provider isn't tracking all of your text messages and phone calls, right? Isn't that actually actively being recorded by the CIA and the whatever the
NSA.
government? NSA,
Probably
that's
not
the one.
Actively,
sorry.
It's more passively.
It's
recorded.
Sorry, I meant passively.
They gather up all of the data. Yeah, I mean, we're screwed. All of our data is out there, collected by somebody. Nothing is free. Nothing is private. Everybody is fucked.
On the internet.
On the internet.
That is the
calling
census.
On the cell phone. Anything that's on the cell phone. Landlines, they have access to, because all of your the companies that provide phone service will give up their records easily, because that's what they've all done in the past. We're all really, really doing well here, Julian.
Well, we're not. I mean, it's a. Yeah, you're right. Whatever.
Here's the thing.
I don't know
Okay, here's the scare. Let me give you the vision of
why
impending
this
doom.
is actually scary. Tell me.
Let me give you the vision of impending doom. Let's say all of your information gets mined.
Google.
Not even all of it, but a lot of important details. Say they get things like your mother's surname, the streets you used to live on, all of your bank information, basically.
Maiden name.
Then, let's say that they get some video of somebody doing something fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they have your face in multiple locations, or for instance, if you've posted many videos on YouTube,
that's us.
and they have the ability to.
Are you saying you want to shut down the YouTube channel? It's done.
Yeah, no, we're already fucked, so
yeah.
It's okay. So now you can, with the technology developing faster and faster, you can fake a video in which one of us, for instance, is cheating on our future wives, and then blackmail us for it. And we have no ability to say that it wasn't us, because it was exactly us, because the fake video is so good that it looks like us.
Damn.
And all of the information that they'll ever need is ready and right there. And to talk about stopping identity fraud, are you kidding me? Identity fraud is already super hard to detect, let alone stop as is, with the breaches. Like, the MyFitnessPal app had a data breach.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the places where like hackers or other people are actively investigating how to breach for data and mine for all sorts of different pieces of data and compile it and put it together to come up with the whole profile of one person is ridiculously sophisticated. So in the future, all of your information is gone. It's out the window. People are going to be able to manipulate whoever the fuck they want, whatever. As you get later in life, gadgets are going to become more and more integrated to our lives in terms of bodily, like, implants or different things, and they'll be all integrated. So then they have all the information about you. You basically become a person in the machine, and we become the Matrix.
I love that movie, man. It's a fantastic movie.
It's not far off from anybody being able to extort you for anything that they want, just based on the fact that they'll have all of your information, that'll be able to fake any video or evidence that they want of you, and do anything they want with you. And basically, as long as you're sophisticated enough to either purchase the information or mine the information yourselves, you're in control of everybody else's destiny.
And that's why we use Google Drive, isn't it?
Yep, perfect.
Well, what do you want us to do about it, Yvonne? There's nothing we can do.
We
can't move to a different
magnet
country.
To the internet.
We should what?
Take a huge magnet to the internet. I mean, the real talk that we have to do is we have to come down on some, like, real physical hard regulations on what it is that social media is.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is social media? At this point, social media is such a, like, utility good that it should be as protected as a right as owning a gun is in the Constitution. Like,
right.
And we should have the right to privacy isn't a codified thing in the Constitution. The right to privacy is a loose amalgamation of, like, the 4th, the 6th, and the 7th Amendment or something like that, in which they're like, hey, yeah, you don't have the right to be illegally searched and seizured or have somebody stationed without and the right to legal counsel and stuff like that. So all of those things together mean that you have a right to privacy. But there's no codification of the right to privacy. And in places like Europe, they have the at least the imagined ability to delete yourself from the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And they really have done high-level discussions and passed laws of people being able to remove themselves from search engines and things like that. In the U.S., Facebook is way too powerful to be able to get that passed right now, but it needs to be a serious thought as to what social media is, what privacy means, what data means. Like, what do we personally control the information about ourselves? Because at this point, it's gone. All of that, and I think it is a lot right now, like shutting the barn door after all the horses have run out. But we need to stop the flow somewhere. Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Julien? How are we like?
I think I should have studied computer science when I was in college. I think that.
Yeah, me too. So many days I'm like, fuck, if I studied computer science, I'd be a goddamn billionaire.
I'd be a billionaire at least. Then maybe I could buy my way out of this situation. I think there's I mean, you can say, what do I have to hide and whatever, but it really comes down to that's giving up all your rights at that point. If you say that, when you say that I don't really care if Facebook's mining all my data. I know who I am, and I don't care. It's really, I mean, you can delete your Facebook account and start a new slate, but they still have all your information. Right, and you're still going to use Instagram or something or whatever, Twitter. You could delete all your social media accounts, I guess, and just only have an email. But then you have a Gmail, and Google has all your information anyways. So there's too many different companies that we all rely on, and it blew up way too quickly with search engines like Google and Facebook bringing social media to the mass populace, and then phones obviously aided that cause incredibly, in that it gave us access to that at any situation, any time, as long as we had service. So
without lawmakers being able to keep up with the information because they're all old and misunderstanding.
Right. It was. I mean, but also that's true, and these are all young, tech, cool, savvy kids at Google and Facebook. Where they sit on their yoga ball instead of a chair and shit like that.
Or they stand at their desk.
You like me. Hey, I've got a back issue, right? Not anymore though, because my back's fine. But they already have the information. Amazon's already a huge company. The best thing you can do, honestly, is just nothing. There's not much you can do. It's just try to.
We have to talk to our officials again. We have to make sure that their message and knowing that data and our personal information is an important thing that we want to protect.
Mm-hmm.
It's another one of those things which is crazy. Let's talk to the people in charge of protecting us and say that we would like to be protected, please.
Yeah.
Do your goddamn jobs.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be a long. I hope that action can be taken quickly because Facebook and Twitter are already doing what they do. So, and they've already done the damage, right? They already got Trump elected essentially, right? In one way or another. I'm not saying Facebook elected Trump, but even though it's exactly what I just said. But I mean, it's really it would take incredibly long, or it would take longer than I would like to do that. But that's the correct way to go about it, is to call your local senator or your state senator and every day and do that. But that takes a lot of time and money sometimes. And really we have to change the Senate and the House of Congress, right, in order to skew it towards people that would try to protect these sorts of rights. That's the only way you can see change politically in America,
Yeah.
I think.
And I don't even know if that's a strictly Republican-Democrat divide. I think that is a people who are willing to take the side of mega corporations, who are willing to sell data to foreign powers in order to influence elections, or people who want to protect, who knows who I'm friends with on Facebook.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Not all Republicans are are the worst people in the world. There are some good Republicans out there, and I assume there are a lot of Republicans that skew on social issues, at least, towards a traditional view that is associated with the left side of America. So I think that's true. So it's honestly, you got to look up. You got to become more politically active and proactive, and that's the only way if you want to see any change in this country. And of course, Facebook is a global company, so it's not just America, but they're an American company, so it's going to start here if you're going to see any changes to Facebook's private policy and user agreement.
Agreed.
Yeah. So Americans, we gotta act. We're a superpower, and gotta do something about it, right? So that's it. That is it. Thanks for coming out to the Hungover podcast. We end our podcast every single week, unless you have any final thoughts, Savon. But I feel like we covered it all. I mean, we mostly agree on this topic, I think. We end our podcast every single week in a song in a segment called Hungover Radio. This is where you, the listener or viewer, or live listener on twitch.tv, another company that
see you
maybe
hiding
we
in the
should
chat.
talk about. See us in the chat, yo, where you can send in your music, whether you wrote a song, produced a song, played an instrument on, or if your friend wants some free advertisement, we'll play it at the end of the podcast in the audio portion and link it out in the video portion. For your clicks on YouTube and such. We want to grow a community of musicians and things like that. I hope it helps out. Just another form of free advertisement for you. But if no one does that, hey, Nikki, thanks for spamming my stupid emote face in the goddamn chat. Why did I make that emote? So if you don't want to do that, then tough luck. I get to choose a song unless Yvonne can think of a song right now that's related to Facebook. I can't.
I got nothing.
I'm gonna play a song for a game that I'm very excited for called Yakuza 6: The Song of Life. It's coming out on the 17th, which is 2 weeks from now on Tuesday. It's going to be on PS4. I think it's already out in Japan. So if you can read Japanese, go ahead and get the game. Very excited for this game. I don't care if I don't know anything about the stories because I didn't play the first 5 games. I'm playing this game. It's going to be fun. It takes place, I think, in Tokyo. It's apparently a very accurate depiction of Tokyo, and you just fuck shit up because you're trying to save someone. I don't know. There's some crazy story going on. Very excited for this game. Gonna play it on stream. Gonna play it hopefully for our channel. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for talking about Facebook with me, Yvonne.
Yep, no problem.
All right, catch you guys next week.
See you guys next time.
Peace out.
Bye.